Dear Mr. Robert, sir, we are sorry for taking your picture without permission. Please remove your curse. We get the message. Please fix my eye, Xbox, and marriage. It will be greatly appreciated. I will never doubt you again. Your friend, Lee and Deb. Apologetic letter to Robert the Doll, dated August 24th, 2007. Dolls. While some people look at these figures, they see nothing but cute children's toys, but others see creepy human replicas. Dolls have long had a dual nature throughout history as being used both as toys and as tools in magical rituals. Perhaps it is this history that has contributed to the belief that some of these dolls are haunted. Join us tonight as we discuss these eerie effigies on this playful episode of Snipe Hunt. Welcome back to Snipe Hunt, your frightening folklore podcast. And as always, I'm your erudite host, Darren Young. Gary continues to hold the record for being the world's busiest man, so he's not on this episode. But we do have a guest today that will fill the co-host void for now. I give you the resplendent Sam
Sjovoval. Sorry, I was looking at the word resplendent. I don't think I've ever heard that word.
I was like, I wanted to spice up the intro a little bit.
No, kudos. That's a $10 word right there.
Yeah, so I was just like, what's another word for like esteemed, or I don't have the exact definition, but it's around that.
Yeah.
It is a fun word. But thank you for joining us for this particularly spoopy episode.
Absolutely. I'm glad I can be here.
So how'd your big meeting go?
My big meeting.
Yeah.
Well, so they told me it was of utmost importance that I was in this meeting. So I walk in. There's like four bros I've never seen before on the opposite side of the table. Thank goodness I was dressed professionally. They did not tell me I had a meeting before I came in to work.
Oh, good.
So I sit down. We don't talk for like a good 3 minutes, right? And I'm just like, I don't know where he is. So I introduced myself and we started having the meeting. Then my manager came in and we started having the meeting again. And then I gave my little presentation and I sat down and I was there for 2.5 hours.
That sounds awful.
It was. I went home and then I came here. I was like, I'll have time. And I didn't have any time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes. Well, thank you for making it on time for this.
No problem.
Unlike some people, not naming names, particularly not names that start with a G. All right. So I don't believe we have any house cleaning today. So let's get straight into it. Sam, if you'd like to start us off.
Yeah. So today we are talking about cursed and or possessed and or haunted dolls. Don't take a drink whenever we say the word doll, because we will not be held responsible for any causes of alcohol poisoning tonight.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
We are washing our hands of your poor choices.
We will discuss the history behind the concept, talk about some of the famous dolls and the spirits that inhabit them. And we will wrap it up with some allegedly. My glasses are dirty. Allegedly haunted dolls you can buy right now.
Woo!
Evil sentient dolls are popular horror tropes in many pop culture.
Modern pop culture. No, you're good.
I'm taking off my glasses right now to clean. Oh, goodness. In modern pop culture. There we go. They all have their roots in real-life dolls.
Yeah, and I meant to actually put the real-life dolls that...
the rest of the real-life dolls?
But it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about the real-life dolls, but I meant to list the pop culture dolls, but I think I have most of them in my head, so I'll just throw them out.
Cool.
As we talk about them.
Yeah, no, whenever you were talking about Robert the Doll earlier, and I was reading about Robert the Doll, Deb and Lee, what do you think, like... Who do you think? Lee for sure wrote the letter, right? Deb doesn't have an Xbox.
Oh, yeah, well...
And he's like, fix my marriage, please, from Deb and Lee.
I love fix my Xbox, please.
Fix my Xbox was before marriage, right?
Yeah, it was before marriage.
Priorities in order.
It was the more important one first.
Yep.
He has his priorities straight.
Not in
clearly,
alphabetical
so-
order because M becomes before X.
Yeah, if you put the Xbox before the marriage, I don't think Robert's going to fix anything.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you weren't supposed to see that yet? Oh, I have a PowerPoint presentation, and it's going ahead of me. Whoop. There we go, all fixed. Okay, so before we get into the history, I'd like to briefly mention why a lot of us find dolls creepy. This is due to the now fairly known theory called Uncanny Valley. I've heard of it.
I've heard of it as well.
Yeah.
I've heard of it mentioned a lot on a show called Westworld.
Oh, I bet, considering it mostly applies to robots, but
Yep.
you can also apply it to everything else
To everything else.
remotely human.
Yeah.
This theory was first hypothesized to describe robots, but can also be used for dolls. I just said that. The theory states that the more human-like a robot becomes, the more appealing it is to us, but only up to a certain point. So it's like you're going up the human scale. Good,
I've seen them.
good.
Oh, I've seen the movie where he beats his robot wife to death. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I know
What
what
movie
happens.
is that?
I can't remember the name of it, but he does it. The one where he's like, she's in a room for all the like her whole life.
I have no idea what movie you're talking
I
about.
can't remember it to save my life. It was it wasn't Deus Ex, was it?
Or was it Ex Machina?
Ex Machina.
Okay,
There we go.
I know that.
I don't know what Deus Ex Machina. I believe it's that. Yeah, no, that guy
Yeah.
beats his robot wife,
Jeez.
quote unquote wife, to quote unquote death.
Robot death. Let's see. But only up to a certain point. So there's a scale, and as soon as you reach a certain point, anything past that is just going to be creepy. So here's what Wikipedia says about it, because I have credible sources. The uncanny valley is a hypothesized relationship between the degree of an object's resemblance to a human being and their emotional response to such an object. The concept of the uncanny valley suggests that humanoid objects, which imperfectly resemble actual human beings, provoked uncanny or strangely familiar feelings of eeriness and revulsion in observers. Quote, valley denotes a dip in the human observer's affinity for the replica, a relation otherwise increases with the replica's human likeness.
Oh, God.
So basically we get freaked out by things that look human, but we know aren't actually human. So like you see those talking robots.
You mean like
on
those
TV.
those relive dolls?
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
jeez, those
So
relive
dolls,
no.
those robots, and it can even be applied to coulrophobia, which is the fear of clowns. So that's basically
That's not what it's called.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry. Clownophobia sounds
Clownophobia.
there.
Harlequinophobia.
I'm sorry. One more time. Repeat that one more time.
I believe it's pronounced coulrophobia. It's
That sounds like
I
the
did
fear-
double check
yeah.
before.
That sounds like the fear of the holes in your skin. Not good.
That's I know what that one is. I'm pretty sure that one is. I don't think that's an actual phobia. I think that's just you look at it, it makes you uncomfortable, and why wouldn't it make you uncomfortable? I don't think it's like, oh, phobia, because phobia is like you have a physical reaction to seeing it. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But now let's get into the actual history of it. The first mentions of a paranormal doll are that of puppets.
Okay, yeah.
Get my PowerPoint
Pop
over
it.
here. Puppet. Hello, puppet.
No, that's not where it's from, really.
That is where it's from, actually, as you will see here in just a second. More widely referred to, or although sometimes incorrectly, as voodoo dolls. But we'll refer to them as poppets, as they were used by many different cultures outside of voodoo. Poppet comes from an older English spelling of puppet and can refer to a doll or as a term of endearment for a young girl.
Ugh.
So, Pirates of the Caribbean, hello, puppet.
Oh, God. No, some guy with dyslexia just misspelled puppet. And they're like, that's way better.
Yeah, I like it. I like the sound of it. Puppet. It's very pop. It has a pop to it. A literal pop.
A literal pop.
A literal pop. Okay. So, poppets are effigies made to represent a person, and they're used as an aid or a tool in sympathetic magic.
Ooh.
What is sympathetic magic? Well, Wikipedia defines it as, that's an actual website, by the way, defines it as, quote, sympathetic magic is a magical modality that involves symbolically imitating the desired outcome. It may involve acting on a physical representation of the target, or creating a physical representation of the outcome, or recreating the desired outcome through motion and art. This way, the practitioner might cause a change at some distance in time or space.
Yeah, I've also heard this referred to as thaumaturgy before.
Like in D&D?
No, as above, so below. Thaumaturgical and alchemical stuff. I also is referring to more like the equal exchange. I have heard of sympathetic magic. And
yeah, but say sympathetic magic is basically just anything where you're imitating a desired outcome. It's a very, very broad thing. There's, I would say, a good portion of all quote-unquote magic practice out there is a form of sympathetic magic. To put it in terms of the voodoo doll, if the practitioner harms the doll, the goal is to also harm the person the doll represents. Sympathetic magic, which, like, there's supposed to be a link. So if the doll feels it, then the person feels
and they feel it. Right.
Hence the term sympathetic.
Right, like your sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Sympathetic.
Or like sympathetic crying. Although sympathetic magic can be used for good as well, not just to harm. I guess that can apply to all forms of magic. One of the oldest known instances of the use of a puppet was by the enemies of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramesses III, where they attempted to bring the death of Ramesses and his guards through wax doll effigies and sympathetic magic. I don't think it worked.
I don't think it worked.
He did die eventually, but I don't think it was
eventually
from wax doll.
Now,
magic.
Is this kind of like the same thing as the terracotta soldiers in China?
The terracotta soldiers?
Terracotta.
I believe the terracotta soldiers were made to guard a tomb. I think. I don't know. I watched a documentary on it like a long time ago.
It's interesting that two cultures around similar times had the same ideas. One was just wax, apparently.
Yes.
And one can assume much smaller and stickier. I would argue that makes them less effective soldiers.
I would say so. In ancient Egypt, puppets served a dual purpose to purify or to harm, as they were used to both free the body of evil or to place curses on those who went against the gods that be.
Wait, how was it used to like help people?
So it was basically
if they were dirty, would they just wash the doll?
It didn't go into the sources didn't go into too much detail. But it was essentially like
you're not getting enough vitamin D, so we're gonna put the doll out in the sun.
I can't quite remember. I want to say that they like used the doll to represent the person, and then they did something to the doll to represent the cleansing of the soul or whatever. I don't remember.
Okay.
Don't question me on these because I don't have the answers.
All right. All the answers are in front of me.
No, sometimes I have the answers. Very rarely. These dolls also served a similar purpose in ancient Rome to both curse enemies and to serve as a connection to deities.
Ooh.
Obviously, the most famous example of a puppet is the voodoo doll. The exact origin of the doll itself is unclear, but the practice clearly has its roots. I say unclear, and then I say, right after that, I say clearly. It clearly has its roots in West African fetish magic, referred to as fetishism, and it's not what you think.
No, I know what fetishism is.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just the 12-year-old boy.
Yeah. No, that's where you shake the lizard at him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventure. The lizard and the blowfish. Not to be confused with Huey and the Blowfish.
Yeah. Fetishism is the belief that objects can have supernatural powers, or in particular, a man-made object that has power or influence over others. So basically, it's like, this is not just an object. It is a magical object.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's what fetishism is, basically, in a very, very short nutshell. One of these man-made objects was the Menkisi, from the peoples in the Congo Basin in Central Africa. Let me get it pulled up on my slideshow. So that's the Menkisi.
Whoa.
Menkisi refers to a wide variety of objects believed to contain supernatural powers, but the type of Menkisi we want is a doll-like idol called the Menkandi. And that's what that is. That's a Menkandi.
So there was a doll. I don't know if you've ever seen Hellier, and this is a long explanation, but I'll get back. Have you seen the documentary Hellier? They own, first off, go see it if you haven't. If you have any interest in what paranormal investigating was like, season 1 is great. They have a traveling paranormal circus, and one of their objects is one of these Minkisi dolls that has all the nails driven into it.
Yep.
And it's supposedly one of their more haunted objects that they have. And I have seen some interesting evidence.
Huh. Yeah. I don't know why I haven't checked that out yet, because other podcasts I listen to, I haven't listened to their like round table discussions on it, but they're out there. And I know we've talked about it before for sure. So I'll definitely get on that. So these Minkandi, the ones specifically with the nails driven through them, are a more aggressive version of Minkisi and are often humanoid figures. By the way, I'm going to have the PowerPoint up when I post the episode, so if you'll on our Facebook page, on
Fantastic,
our Twitter and all that good stuff, so anyone can see it. These idols are constructed by a religious specialist known as a Banganga.
A Banganga.
Not a priest, not a shaman, but a Banganga.
Can you imagine going to school and coming back and be like, Mom, I'm getting my degree in Bangangology. Bangangology. There you go.
Yeah, there's like a couple of different variations of that name, but I picked the most fun one,
nice.
Banganga. So, and when assembled, the idol would become inhabited by a spirit.
Spirit not included?
Spirit not included.
You got to go get your own spirit?
You got to make the doll,
and
then you have to
call the Ghostbusters?
You have to basically, hey, spirit, I built a house for you, and then that's shaped like a person that I guess they like.
And then you go,
so then they
got him.
You got to get a spirit in there.
Okay.
I don't know. If I were a Banganga, I'd give you a much better explanation, but sadly, I'm not.
Well, we have him right here. Here he comes now.
Yeah. I thought you were a certified Banganga.
No, I am a certified exorcist, though. But I believe the website is, can I say bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, I just did.
I'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
But
no, I believe the website is incorrect, but I got a cool Bible that I never got.
Well, there you go.
I know the words to say.
Do you know in Latin?
No.
Oh.
No. I have the phonetic translation next to it. Thank you very much.
You just like talking to an app on your phone and then have it play it in Latin?
I don't think that works because the phone doesn't have a soul. Look, it's more like I got my associates.
Oh, yeah.
Exorcismology. I didn't get my undergraduate or master's.
Right, yeah.
No. But I don't think the school I got it from was accredited.
Right, yeah. Most likely not.
Most likely not.
So after it becomes inhabited by a spirit, the user would then drive nails into the figure and ask the residing spirit to help with the task. Whoa, hold on. I'm going to explain it.
They nailed this.
Yes. They nail it. They like conk, nail it in there, and there's a reason for that.
Okay.
But so they use this to ask it to do a task, for healing or to act as a witness to a contract or promise.
What?
So it's like, hey,
wait.
You have to uphold.
Now, really quickly, have you found an example online of a Baganga? No, I'm sorry. That's just me taking the piss out of this. The Mankandi in like a courtroom, sitting there on trial with the microphone and says, point to the person who, if you witnessed a crime, I don't know, and does the nail like shoot out and get the guy? Like what happens?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's more of a, hey, you have to uphold this contract or else this spirit is going to take its supernatural revenge on you. Something like that. Like I said, it didn't go into detail, but it's like, hey, the spirit
was the witness. No, I understand. You can't officiate a marriage though, right? Like,
yes, no. So what you do is you nail the thing into the Makandi. You nail in the Makandi, be like, spirit, bear witness to the contract. Then you make the contract, and then say that guy doesn't uphold the contract.
Right.
You take your nail and your hammer again. You nail another one in there and be like, hey, spirit, remember that contract from before?
Yeah.
Well, he's not upholding it.
I remember.
Get him.
Yeah.
Curse
Get
him.
him.
Man, I just keep losing my spot. So the purpose for driving the nail in was to awaken or even enrage the spirit within. So it's basically...
Yeah, I think it would enrage him.
Basically, it's its alarm clock.
Yeah, after the first one, I don't think it's asleep anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if you enrage it if you want to curse somebody.
Yeah, so if you want to, like, you just pull a nail out and the spirit's supposed to be like, yeah, sure, I'll do what you want.
I guess so. I mean, you did build a house for it, so...
But then you immediately, like, drove a nail into it.
You're just immediately lowering the property value of the spirit's house by driving in random nails.
Yeah.
I know, but it looks pretty cool, though. Looks badass.
It does look cool, yeah.
So this is basically a literal haunted doll, or at least a humanoid-shaped vessel for a spirit to possess.
Right. Once you capture the spirit and put it in the doll.
Yeah, it's like a Pokeball.
Right.
Spirit, I choose you.
It is like a Pokeball.
I mean, it's not too far off.
Ghastly, you just confused. Where's my hammer?
The voodoo doll also has its roots in the practices of the cunning folk of Britain, professional sorcerers who would create puppets and pierce them with pins in order to physically harm evil witches and break bewitchments.
Do you think it worked?
I mean,
No witches.
I don't think it didn't work.
Hey.
I'm just saying, there's a severe lack of witches around.
Severe lack of witches. They're making a comeback. I see them on Instagram quite often.
I'm actually in the middle of a podcast episode on Wicca, so I know a little bit about that now.
There you go.
Yeah, which they refer to themselves as both Wiccans and witches.
Yeah.
Wicca and witchcraft is not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
But
no.
Anyway, moving on. Before we jump into another rabbit hole, in the cultural melting pot of Louisiana, eventually the practice of pin-pierced puppets became associated with the practice of voodoo in the early 20th century. So the, quote, voodoo doll, as we know it, is actually just a very recent version of the puppet. So it's kind of just combining of cultures, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you had the French there, you had British there, and of course you had basically slaves from Africa.
In Africa there, and they're like, hey, cool doll. Can I borrow it?
Yeah, exactly. So now we have some honorable mentions that don't exactly meet the criteria for, quote, haunted doll, but they're close enough to mention.
Oh, the hay stuff. Yeah.
The hay stuff. So first we have the krat from Estonian folklore, which is a figure created usually by a farmer out of hay and or household implements that was given life by the owner by sacrificing 3 drops of blood to the devil. The devil.
The devil.
And it was basically mostly used to do chores, but it would also be used to steal from others, as it was like other farmers and stuff, because it was able to fly apparently and difficult to catch. So imagine that thing flying. They're a lot bigger than I thought. I was expecting them to be like, maybe 2 feet tall. That thing looks like at least 6.
So my question is like, how does this compare to the Wicker Man? Or wait, no. What was the Nicolas Cage vehicle?
No, it is the Wicker Man.
Yeah, it is the Wicker Man. Yeah. How does this compare to the Wicker Man?
I saw that movie like years upon years ago, and I had no idea what was going on the entire time. So I could not tell you.
You got killed by bees. I know that.
Yeah, that's the only part I remember. Another bees! So apparently that thing could fly, but it would constantly need something to do,
or else it'll kill you,
or else it would go on a rampage and even kill its owner. So basically, it doesn't have anything to do. It gets super stressed and super angry.
Yeah, this actually came from it was a folklore where this guy asked for the devil's help on, I think it was building a similar version to the Taj Mahal.
Okay.
And the devil came and he said, I'll do it, but you have to give me a task every day or else I'm going to come and collect your soul and take you to hell. I had to do it.
I know. And, I was really struggling not to do that earlier.
And so he's like, all right, well, I got him to do that. What else do I do? And the devil's going to kill him and take his soul, I guess. They never talk about that. Do you think the devil's like, all right, soul time, and he just takes the whole body? Or do you think the devil reaches in and reaches through the goop and just kills you right there?
I think it depends on the case.
Yeah. You think it depends?
Yeah. I don't know what it would depend on, but I think it depends.
All right.
But so obviously if you're if you're done with all the tasks the Krot can do and it's still around, you got to get rid of it, right? Mm-hmm. But there's only one way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You need to give it an impossible task.
Stand still.
One example given, which is a really weird one for an impossible task, was to build a ladder out of bread.
And that was specific.
That was like literally in one of the stories about the Krot, like one of the OG stories about the Krot.
Can you imagine being so afraid of this thing that you've made, and you see this giant lumbering thing coming back made out of hay, and you're like, all right, he's like, what do you want me to do? No, that's not how it would sound. It wouldn't sound that. It wouldn't be like that. It'd be like, what do you want me to do, huh?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right?
I think it would have the high-pitched voice.
It would have the high-pitched voice because it's made out of straw. And he's like, and he's like panicking because he's seeing this guy.
I wish I had a brain.
He's seen this guy rip a cow and his head neighbor Dave in half. So he's like, ooh. He's like, ladder out of bread. And the cat looks at him and goes, okay.
So, yeah.
Ladder out of bread.
So
Don't mind me.
it wouldn't be able to do this task, and as a result, it would become enraged, and it would catch itself on fire and burn away. So that leads to the question, this thing's made out of hay, why can't you just burn it?
Why can't you burn it?
But
it's magic.
But that's what, it's magic, because that's the only way to get rid of it, apparently. So the next honorable mention is the slightly more familiar golem from Jewish myth. If you notice my little Pokemon up there.
Oh, I see it. Yeah,
I bet. So a golem is an artificial creature formed from clay and is given life through magical means. A golem was used for a variety of purposes, from doing chores to acting as a guardian. In one case, it was even used for food. We're probably going to do a Snipe Hunt episode on the golem.
On the golem.
So it often had a symbol or word either on the forehead or on a piece of paper that was inserted into its mouth in order to activate it. The golem could then be deactivated by removing the word from whatever place. Or like if it's like inscribed on the forehead, I think they would just like lick their thumb
and wipe it off.
Yeah, we'll get that right off there. So another honorable mention is the Tsukumogami, as covered in the Yokai episode, which is an object that gains its own spirit. It becomes sentient after reaching 99 years of age.
Wait. No, I listened to your episode, so anything.
It was mostly like tools and other household objects. Fun fact that I didn't actually include in this episode. People would throw away items before they reached their 99th year of age for fear of it becoming a Tsukumogami. So,
oh god, yeah,
family heirlooms being a thing. But the Japanese culture is really weird about like soul possessing objects, especially swords. So, but
they're very weird about their soul possessing.
It's really cool. I find it fascinating. Now that we're all done with that, it's hard to pin down the first reporting of a haunted doll for sure, but it seems the earliest known case was that of Robert the doll.
Robert the doll belonged to the youngest child of a prominent physician and businessman, Robert Eugene Otto. He went by Gene. Yeah. He was born around the turn of the 20th century, and he lived with his family in a large Victorian house in Key West, Florida, baby.
Florida.
Yeah. And was said to be able to paint before he could even talk. Gene's mother took a trip to Germany in 1904 and returned with a present for Gene's birthday.
I think I know what it is.
A doll dressed as a pink and green harlequin clown.
Oh, so now we get clowns and dolls.
Oh my god, that's disturbing. The doll was around 3 feet tall, stuffed with wood shavings, and made of felt.
I didn't think you could make that sound sinister, but you sure did.
Felt is a sinister material. So Gene immediately bonded with the doll and named it Robert, after himself. Not a good sign.
Nope.
And started dressing the doll in a sailor outfit, an outfit that Gene himself wore.
Also not a good sign.
Not a good sign. One could say he might have been even asking for it. Gene.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, but if you dress up and you're like, I think I have to dress my doll in the same clothes. That's a mental disorder, or the doll's haunted.
All right.
Now, technically, are we even allowed to talk about Robert the doll without asking his permission? Did you send in a letter?
Hold on. Let's just put it out in the ether. Robert, we ask your blessing.
It's a little late now
for this story. We're kind of already
at the
started,
top of the episode.
But if you can forgive us, we'll get to that later. But we might have to write a letter.
Hey, Robert, I've seen you before. The line was too long, and I didn't. Yeah,
Robert,
I saw you for like 2 seconds.
Do about those lines, that'd be great.
If you could curse a few more people. Well, what we will talk about is how Gene would talk to the doll, which is normal child behavior. But Gene soon started talking to the point where his parents would hear a second, deeper voice coming from Gene's room. One totally different than their son's voice.
Gene, you should kill your parents.
Hey, Gene, invest in Bitcoin. Hey, Gene, I have a Bitcoin guy. If you invest $2,000 now, well, it's not Bitcoin. It's doll coin. One day, Gene's mother overheard loud thudding and an angry conversation coming from the bedroom. Uh-oh. She barged in and found Gene cowering in a corner, seemingly scared of Robert, who was poised in a chair. A similar commotion happened in the middle of the night. Gene's parents once again found Gene cowering under his bed, but his room was ransacked. When questioned, Gene would only say, "Robert did it."
The devil made me do it.
I didn't know. I knew I was going to do a voice. I didn't know it was going to be the same one. I didn't know Gene was going to be a cat.
A crot.
A crot from earlier, but there he is. More strange events occurred after this. Broken dishes on the floor, furniture overturned, bedding removed and thrown about, mutilated toys and servants locked in rooms.
So either at this point, either A, Robert's a haunted doll, or Gene's just being a little...
He's being a... Yeah.
He's being a real Richard right now.
Yeah, was Robert the doll, like... It is the same doll, right? Like...
Yes.
Okay. Maybe that...
As opposed to...
Like they switched it out for a voodoo doll? I mean, all the pictures of it, it sure doesn't look like no Harlequin doll I've seen.
No, it's because he changed the look of it after...
To make him look like himself.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, we basically blamed Robert for everything. The house staff reported that they heard giggling from the doll, and some had even seen it running around the house.
I'm doing my own sound effects.
Yeah.
I'm not adding them in later. It's too much work.
Gene's great-aunt came over for a visit, and upon hearing these tales suggested that Robert, the doll, should be stored in the attic.
Good move.
Gene protested, but his parents went through the plan and packed the doll up into the attic. Yeah, I would put the doll in the attic, too.
Yeah.
The next day, Gene's great-aunt was found dead in her bed. Whoa.
Went from 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah, apparently
Robert was released from the attic soon after. Now, the way that this is written, did Robert release himself from the attic, or were the parents
someone went up and got him. Okay. I'm assuming the parents, because it didn't sound like Gene accessed the attic.
Yeah. I do remember a story of the doll being nailed in the attic in like a coffin, and the doll getting itself out. I haven't
heard. I didn't find anything like that, but later on there is
some sensationalism,
something similar to that. So a little bit, tiny bit similar. So
now, if I remember the same story, and I'll bring this up later, this is what we call a callback. I believe there was some sensationalism going on.
What?
Yeah,
stories like these never get sensationalized.
Well, eventually, Gene grew older. Who would have guessed? And Robert was once again stored in the attic.
That's how time works.
That's how time works. Technically, Robert the doll got older, too. But yeah. I think Robert might be a demon, but who knows. Gene went away to college to study art and eventually got married to a young pianist named Annette Parker. After Gene's mother passed away, the young couple moved back into the Otto family home in Key West. It was that Gene's disturbing relationship with the doll was rekindled.
So he got away. And now
he got away.
And he's like, oh, wait, my doll's in the attic. Hey, wifey, you want to see my doll?
And he's like, hey, Annette, you want to see my cool
He still
doll?
sounds like that.
Yeah, he still sounds like that because he has a doll.
That's true.
As a best friend. Something's not right with him.
So you're
like he did as a child. The adult Gene started carrying Robert around with him. He would reserve his seat for the doll at the dinner table. He would seat Robert in a chair by the bedside. Ugh. He made specific furniture.
Special.
I know, but I was just going to say specific anyway and keep
special
going.
Furniture.
Specific furniture for Robert. Special furniture. Much like my brain. Special furniture for Robert and even new outfits. How cute. And not pleased with Gene's obsession, tried to put Robert back into the attic, but he always came back down. Guests in the home would often hear giggling and footsteps coming from the room where Robert was. Yeah. They would also see the doll change facial expressions that aligned with whatever mood the current conversation was.
So if they're telling a joke, Robert smiles. If they're telling a sad story, Robert would frown.
If they're telling a poop story, Robert looks constipated. Witnesses would spout Robert looking out the window, seemingly taunting them by turning his head. They also claimed to see the doll running from the window to window.
From the window to the wall. Let's get these haunted dolls.
Make all of them witches crawl. There we go.
That's it. We're copywriting that.
All right, we're done.
We're done here. So
all right.
Get sued. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Well, what also is good to know, Gene passed...
Whoa!
No, but Gene did pass away in 1974, and the house was eventually sold to William and Myrtle...
Reuter.
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 Reuter. Of the Reuter What's the stuff you put in the toilet? This is a bad joke.
I have no idea.
The rooter.
The rooter.
Yeah, rotor rooter.
The rooter rotor?
Rotor rooter.
The rotor rooter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same people, actually. No, it's not.
That's the joke I was going with. And I was like, how dare you?
I stole it.
Robert's supernatural antics continued to be experienced by his new owners. Myrtle eventually donated the doll to the East Martello Museum, saying, "He's haunted. I can't stand him in the house anymore." Myrtle refused to take any sort of payment for the doll and left. She died a few months later.
Do you like how I'm just putting, oh, and this person died?
And this person died. Well, the next strange thing that happened to Robert was most staff members at the very least witnessed Robert's facial expressions change. Again. And many had seen it move or even heard it tap on the glass in his display.
Wouldn't that be creepy if you're like a night employee and you hear tap, 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 and you go into the room and all you see is Robert the doll?
Not good. My question is, how is he making any noise with felt hands?
I don't know, it's true. I mean, it looks like he's got like...
Like, I hate to call BS on anything kind of haunted or any of these claims, but...
Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the spirit within reaching out and going tap, tap, tap.
Oh, yeah? Or maybe he's using his glass eye. Who knows?
He's a creepy looking doll, and he's not in the best shape. He's got like little holes in his face and stuff. It just adds to the creepiness.
I mean, the doll's like almost 100 years old at this point.
It's over 100 years old because his mom or aunt got it in 1904. It's 116 years old at the recording of this episode.
Nice. Well, this 116-year-old doll remains in the museum to this day. If you visit Robert, you must follow these 3 rules. You must say hello to him when you enter. You must ask permission of him before taking a picture, and you must thank him and say goodbye when you leave. If you don't follow the rules, bad things will happen to you.
Bad things.
Like whenever I left, I got an upset stomach whenever I went to Taco Bell.
I was about to say, did you not say goodbye to Robert the doll?
I didn't say goodbye to Robert the doll. I got an upset tummy.
There's 3 rules.
Well, I didn't
3
follow.
rules, Sam.
I didn't say hello. I didn't ask permission before taking a picture of him. It wasn't a good picture, so I deleted it. So I guess that cancels it out.
Yeah.
And I didn't say goodbye. Again, there were too many people around the doll.
Well, I think if you're just going to just kind of wave, you know.
Does that count?
Sure.
I still broke the rule then.
Well, it says you must say goodbye, so I guess if you...
Still broke the rule.
Say goodbye, Robert.
Well, his ire was an upset tummy on me.
I wouldn't call him Bob either.
No, I wouldn't call him Bob either.
Bob the doll. Bob doll.
Letters from all over the country are displayed behind Robert, apologizing for not following the rules and claiming that they are now paying the price.
Dun, dun, dun.
Such a letter was read in the cold opening of the episode. Wow. That was a good sentence. Such a letter was read in the cold opening of this episode. Here's another letter, but it is one that is very different from the first one. It is dated October 11th, 2005. Dear Mr. Otto, happy 101st birthday! Woo! Laura and I send our best wishes on this joyous occasion. Your generation has taught Americans that timeless lessons of courage, endurance, and love. By sharing your wisdom and experiences, you continue to serve as a role model for future generations. We hope you enjoy this special day. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless America. Sincerely, George W. Bush.
What?
That's right. George W. Bush.
Crazy. And he was still president at this time, too.
He was
so
still
this was
president.
like happened in office.
Do you think he knew? Or do you think someone said, hey, Mr. President, this guy...
No, he definitely knew.
No, I don't think he knew.
No, he definitely knew.
Yeah, I think some guy was like, hey, this German war criminal is turning 101. German what now? No,
I mean,
nothing.
scientists who works for us now.
There you go. But it does have the presidential seal on it and everything else.
Yeah,
so it's
like you can
real.
find a picture online. Oh, I definitely believe it's real. Of all the presidents, I would believe the W would send Robert the doll a letter. It's legit, for sure. Interesting. No, I finished up my research for Robert the doll, and I was like following up on something else, and I was like, how did I not see this earlier? This is like should have been like the second thing I saw.
The second thing you found
next to the picture of the doll.
I'm surprised it's not the doll isn't holding it.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, my grandparents got a letter from George W. Bush.
Oh yeah, what did it say?
I don't remember, but it was like they like contributed to something or other. I don't know.
Well, good for them.
For sure, they still have it.
That's before he became a famous artist.
Yeah, exactly. But
I do remember talking about George W. Bush in the wild, in the public, to my girlfriend. And the person I could see rolled their eyes at me who was taking my order at the Starbucks. And I did say aloud.
yeah, it's Starbucks.
Huh?
Well, yeah, it's Starbucks.
I did say aloud, well, he's more famous than you for being an artist.
And more
Got him.
talented.
I didn't say that because art is subjective.
It is subjective.
Yeah.
Except some art, it's clearly better than others. But the whole art world's a scam anyway. But we're not going to get into that today. But that's Robert the Doll. So I know I was going to say like which pop culture dolls are based on him. Chucky, the most famous of the possessed dolls, is based on Robert, as well as I'm not 100% on this, but I read the synopsis for The Boy and the recent Brahms The Boy 2.
I mean,
it seems very much that that doll is loosely based on Robert.
It seems like it follows that trope of the quiet kid having an imaginary friend that's a demon.
Oh,
and
yeah, definitely.
It feels like it definitely follows that.
It for sure does. But they heard the voice, but they never cited any specific instances of Robert talking other than to Jean. So I don't know. Robert's definitely interesting, and I would definitely follow those 3 rules if I ever visited him.
Maybe he was Jean's pre-ghost. Who knows?
Who knows? When Jean died, do you think his soul joined Robert in the doll?
I think either the doll's spirit grabbed Jean and dragged him to hell, and now the doll is just chilling, empty. Maybe it's that. Or maybe Jean's spirit was like, hey, doll, you're coming with me to heaven. We're doing it again for real this time. And he starts kissing the doll and everything else.
Whoa.
And, yeah.
Whoa. I mean, as far as it being legitimately haunted, do you think it's that, or do you think this is all blown out of proportion? Just a weird kid with a weird obsession with his weird doll.
If this happened today, I would say it was fake.
Yeah.
Now,
but since it was over 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
Time gives it legitimacy.
I wouldn't say time gives it legitimacy.
Yeah. But yeah. It has more of a mystical property to it. We'll lose some of that mysticism with our next entry, who is arguably the most well-known of the haunted dolls. And that, of course, is Annabelle. Donna just turned 28, and her mother bought Donna a doll to celebrate the birthday. The doll was not a super creepy wooden dummy as depicted in the recent horror movies, but a run-of-the-mill, large, antique Raggedy Ann doll. And see, we already lost the mysticism because it doesn't even look scary. I mean, I know it is scary, but look at this thing. So on the left, I have the depiction of Annabelle in the movies, which is super creepy, and then you just have your run-of-the-mill Annabelle doll right there.
I do like how the sign says, warning, positively. Do not. Just do not.
And then all it says, whatever you're going to do,
don't.
But it also has, I didn't even notice the first time. So it's right now, she's in a case. It has a cross on it. It has like a little roof on top.
Yeah.
And then it says, warning, positively do not. But then it also has a tarot card on it. And the tarot card is the devil.
The devil! Yep. And our boy JC is represented with a cross on top.
Exactly. JC
represent. I don't know why Christians believe he enjoyed crosses. I believe the book ends in a not good note for Jesus and crosses.
Well, it's a symbol of the sacrifice, but we're not getting into that today.
Nah.
Let's rewind it from back before she was in her crossed out, deviled out, do not case. So Donna has her now. Soon Donna and her roommate Angie started noticing something strange about the doll. It would be in a different position than it was left in when they left for work. The arms that were normally hanging at its side would be sitting in the doll's lap or even crossed. Donna and Angie tested this by intentionally crossing the doll's arms and legs before they left for work. And when they came home, the doll's arms and legs were uncrossed. But I mean, it's like kind of like a loose cloth doll, so it might be able just to fall apart. I don't know.
Yeah, so I have seen people investigate these claims,
Yeah.
and this is a doll. People aren't going to like this. Not real. Not
don't think
real.
so?
No, not real.
Well, let's continue the story if you change your mind or not. Soon the two women noticed the doll would appear in rooms they didn't leave it in. Donna would leave the doll in her bedroom with the door closed, only to return home and find the doll on the couch. At one point, they found the doll kneeling on a chair by the front door. This position would have been impossible for the all-cloth doll, and all attempts to position the doll back into a kneeling pose failed. So it just kind of like flopped over because, it's just made out of cloth.
Right.
Soon, the doll seemed to be leaving them messages. Literally.
Yeah.
This is the part where it gets too much for you?
Yeah, how's it writing with the cloth?
Exactly.
With telekinesis?
Because it's supernatural. Ooh.
All I'm saying is, didn't they have a dog?
Well, hold on.
Isn't it like well documented that they had a dog?
I did not find a dog in my research.
Okay.
Do you think the dog was writing the messages?
I think the dog was moving the doll, and this is for sure confirmation bias. This is
It could very well be confirmation bias, but let's continue. The messages were found throughout the apartment, written on small pieces of parchment paper in a child's handwriting. They said, "Help us," or "Help Lou." Lou was Angie's fiance. Perhaps most disturbing, the two women did not own any parchment paper and did not have any pencils in the apartment.
Yeah, this is definitely the part where I'm like, so the doll manifested
the pieces of paper and a pencil and was like, "Help Lou."
Help Lou. And then destroyed the pencil every single time.
And just dematerialized.
Dematerialized it. This is where it starts to...
Well, hold on. Don and Angie did their own investigation because they were convinced that a morbid prankster was breaking in
it was
and
Lou.
causing these strange events.
It was her fiance.
So they left marks on the doors and windows and arranged pillows and rugs in position so they could tell if someone was breaking in and disturbing the arrangements. They never found their markings disturbed. So Lou's not in the apartment, I'm assuming. And they put up all these tests.
Now, I hate to say this,
but in order to... So if you put it by the front door and you come in through the front door to check all the markings, then it's going to be disturbed.
Right.
So, maybe they should just put, like when was this? 1970s?
Maybe they should have put tape on the outside of the door.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it
maybe
seems
they did. I don't know.
A lot of this seems like for show, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a lot of what they do is for show. I have watched BuzzFeed's Unsolved episode.
I love that so much.
I really do enjoy it. I have watched an episode on it and then posing the theories. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Lou did it and it just got out of hand.
You think so?
I think because the timing of whenever they said this was, if I remember correctly, in around October. And I think he was just playing a prank.
Interesting.
Because he did signal out Lou, which is Donna's...
Angie's.
Right, which is Donna's roommate's
husband.
A fiance. Whenever Donna herself had a fiance. So it seems like the all of it wasn't around Donna, but rather around Donna's roommate.
Well, yeah, and we'll actually get to more of that later, so it might confirm to your theory. One night they came home and found that the doll had blood on the back of its hand and 3 drops of blood on its chest. Hey, there's the 3 drops. Again, just like with the karate. There was no explanation for this, and at this time, the women decided to contact a medium for help. The medium told them that the apartment itself was haunted by a little girl named Annabelle. Not the doll. But the apartment. By a little girl named Annabelle Higgins, who died on the property before the apartment was built. The medium claimed that the spirit was moving the doll around to get their attention, and asked to permanently move into the doll and stay with them. Now here's where Donna and Angie make a very stupid mistake, real or not.
Yeah.
Donna and Angie felt sympathy for Annabelle and agreed to the spirit's request to stay in the doll permanently, and afterwards started referring to the doll as Annabelle.
Mistake.
Very much mistake. I don't care if this is real or not. You never give a spirit permission to inhabit anything. Not yourself, not a doll, not this Coke can, nothing. Don't give it permission to do anything. Say no.
No.
Just say no.
Just say no. Say no to the ghost.
Exactly. Lou, Angie's fiance, always disliked the doll and soon started having nightmares about it. One night, Lou seemed to have an out-of-body experience. He saw himself asleep on the bed. A deep feeling of dread crept over him. Suddenly, he could see Annabelle at the foot of his bed and watched in horror as the doll glided up his legs and chest to his neck. The doll wrapped its arms around Lou's neck and started strangling him. Lou panicked and thrashed about, trying to push the doll away, but it wouldn't budge. Soon the powerless Lou passed out and woke up the next morning with no evidence to what happened the night before. Lou was certain this wasn't a dream, and then pleaded with Donna to get rid of Annabelle. So either this goes along with your theory about Lou hoaxing the whole thing, or
All I know is it was Lou's dream, and his scratches
Yeah.
were gone in the morning, and nothing else happens to Donna or...
Right. Yeah, or this could very well be a case of sleep paralysis, which was our last episode.
Yes.
So that's also a possibility. Soon after, Lou heard strange sounds coming from one of the rooms. Upon investigation, he could find no source, but Annabelle was in the corner of the room. Lou doubled over in pain, and Angie ran in to investigate. She found Lou clutching his chest and discovered 3 long scratches that tore through his shirt and were dripping blood. They were claw marks, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal scratch across Lou's chest. These scratches were miraculously gone by the next day.
Or conveniently.
Yeah, conveniently, before anyone could provide any sort of proof. So you might be onto something. This convinced Donna and Angie that they needed help. They contacted their local priest, who referred them to famous paranormal investigators.
That's the most buck wild
Ed
thing.
and Lorraine Warren.
This is the most buck wild thing I've ever heard in my entire life. The priest was like,
The priest was like, "Man, I'm done here. Here's these dubious at best paranormal investigators."
the priest said, "Hey, Ed and Lorraine Warren, you're looking for a haunted doll? Well, get a load of this," and held the phone out for him to
like
listen
these
to the
dolls?
doll. Yeah.
So the Warrens came and quickly determined that the doll was indeed possessed. Not by a little girl, but something demonic.
Demonic.
Ed explained that the entity used the guise of a little girl to play on their compassion and gain a foothold on their lives by receiving permission to move into the doll.
Yeah, shouldn't have done that.
Never provide permission.
Shouldn't have done that. Because now...
Stupid.
Well, no, see, they didn't think about it, right? Where's the doll? In the house.
Where do you not want the spirit?
Where do they not want the spirit? In the house.
Exactly.
They should have been like, yeah, sure, move in the spirit. And then dropped it in the lake or something.
Yeah, move into this doll and never get out, and whoop, see ya. Bye, doll. The Warrens recommended a priest, so we got another priest involved,
Another priest.
to come and perform an exorcism, and so Father Edward came and performed the cleansing without incident. The Warrens then agreed to take the doll with them to forever rid the women of the entity.
Huh. No incident, huh?
Yeah, no incident yet.
Was Lou there?
Don't know. On the ride home, I don't have the answers.
This is, yeah, and then somehow, yeah, this doll is specifically causes car crashes.
Yes.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. On the ride home, the Warren's car suddenly stalled, which nearly caused him to swerve into oncoming traffic. After a couple instances of this, Ed flung holy water at the doll, and the couple experienced no more car issues after this.
So they treated it like their infant daughter. They're like, not infant daughter. Like the kid arguing in the back where you just grab whatever you can and be like, shut up.
Stop it!
Stop it.
Behave!
My mom definitely did that to me. Not with holy water. Yep, she flung holy water at me. And it got me to stop. I think it was more because I was just surprised.
You're like, what just happened?
Where'd you get holy water, Mom?
Over the next few days, the Warrens reported strange activity involved with Annabelle. The doll would levitate and would be found in different rooms than it was left in, which led the Warrens to locking the door to Annabelle's room. They even reported seeing a spectral black cat that would manifest next to the doll and then disappear.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
So, you definitely know this about the Warrens, but for our listeners, the Warrens, they're responsible for a lot of famous paranormal investigations, but there is also a lot of, what's the word?
Scams.
Yeah, there
The
is
word
a
you're
lot
looking
of
for is
flowing
scams.
around that they were scam artists, that they were
Now, I will
hoaxers.
say Ed was more... I feel like Ed was definitely perpetuating it a lot more.
Well, Lorraine was an actual medium.
She was an actual medium, yes.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, maybe she got a little overhyped.
Maybe. But, so I'm just saying there's some controversy surrounding the Warrens, so despite all the praise they get. So the Warrens had a couple of visitors, allegedly, which had their own experiences with the doll. One making fun of Annabelle and almost wrecked on the way home, and the other saw the doll moving on its own. Eventually, the Warrens encased Annabelle in a special glass case and displayed the doll in their occult museum, where it remains to this day. At the museum, visitors are not allowed to open or even touch Annabelle's case. such as the sign says, positively do not.
Positively do not, with the lock clearly shown, so that way you know it's locked.
As if the tarot card of the devil wasn't enough.
Right.
One visitor did not abide by these rules and started banging on the case and yelling at the doll. Yep, good move. The man immediately suffered phantom scratches and was promptly escorted out of the museum. The man later died in a motorcycle crash on the way home.
Okay, now the way that I've had this described every single article is the man later died in a motorcycle crash on the way home.
Yep.
It wasn't from the museum.
Right.
It wasn't that day. It wasn't.
Well, see, if you're
year.
a haunted doll, you can't just straight up kill a person. You
have to
like,
wait 2.5 years.
You have to involve them in an unfortunate accident.
2.5
That's the rules.
Yeah.
The
all I know
rules.
All I know is I like to see consistency in my horror stories. And now we got a cat. The doll's floating now. It's not kneeling anymore. The scratches were on par. On par, yeah. Okay. But the cat,
the cat's
the levitating, and then the car crashes. I don't understand the car crashes.
Annabelle remains at the museum to this day, waiting to be set free.
Presumptuous? Maybe the doll likes it in her
Maybe a little
house.
bit. Maybe a little bit. So that's the two more famous ones. We're about to move on to another famous one. But before we get to that, we have sort of an honorable mention. So I'll keep this one brief since the overall story isn't as compelling as the others, but I wanted to include this one just because of how unique looking this doll is. Take a look at that. Look at that thing.
Look at that thing.
That looks like a horror movie prop doll if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
This is Letta Me Out. The doll was found under a house in Wagga Wagga, Australia, which apparently is a real town.
Yeah.
Wagga Wagga. The name originated when the finder and owner of the doll, Kerry Walton, and his brother were first driving home with the doll. Apparently they found it under the house. They were like doing some work on it or something like that. So they had it like in a bag, and the shadows from the headlights of the other cars made it look like the doll was moving in the sack it was stored in.
Wow.
So at the time, the brothers heard strange sounds coming from the sack, and so they were joking about the doll trying to get out and named it Letta Me Out.
A couple of comedians.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If I was like, I think that doll in the back is moving. Ha ha, let's call it Letta Me Out. Ha ha ha. Let's joke about it.
Yeah.
So apparently...
God, can you imagine, like they're like, huh, let's call it Letta Me Out, right? And they're making fun of the doll. They just hear like a crackling voice going like, and now I am out. Right? Just like...
They look in the mirror and the doll's like, oh, right on them. Now, this has been the prime opportunity because Robert apparently causes car crashes and apparently Annabelle causes car crashes. So
the doll's in a car now.
The car's in a doll and they're making fun of the doll in the car.
Okay.
Did I say the car's in the doll?
The car is going to explode, right?
Yes. No.
Just explode with demons.
Apparently, this is a 200-year-old gypsy doll that is possessed by the spirit of a drowned child.
Wow.
The doll is
specific.
Yes, very specific. The doll is said to move on its own, but as of late, there is no activity associated with this creepy-looking doll. But yeah, it looks like it's got really long hair, even though it's a male doll, and it's like kind of like 1700s dress with its stockings and its long pulled back hair, and I don't know if that's real hair, if that's like horse hair or what, but
I don't think it's real hair.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it's real hair.
Well, it's definitely creepy looking, if nothing else.
Yeah, so our next entry has the bragging rights of being the first haunted doll sold on eBay.
Finally.
Which we will touch more on later.
Yes, we will.
This is the story of Hair of the Doll. The doll was put up for sale in 2003 by a man named Greg. No last name given.
Just Greg.
Just Greg.
He only had one name. He's like Cher.
Greg also shared the story behind the doll. Ooh. Greg claimed that he bought Harold at a flea market from an old farmer who claimed the doll was responsible for the death of his son in a car crash. He wasn't in a car crash. The car fell on top of him and crashed his body. Crashed his body.
That's a thing.
That's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Greg didn't put much stock in the story, but soon he was plagued by a string of bad luck.
As haunted dolls are wont to do.
Within 2 days of purchasing the doll, Greg's car died.
Cat.
No, I know. But that's called a
really
callback.
Wanted to say car.
No, that's called a callback. Ha ha. Greg's cat died. His girlfriend left him, and he started suffering from chronic migraines.
And then his Xbox got the red ring of death.
He stole Harold in the basement. Wait, this happened in 2003? Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah.
And within 2 days, and 9/11 happened.
Whoa.
Whoa. He stole Harold in the basement.
Stored.
What did I say?
Stoled.
Close enough.
I mean, yeah, it's close enough.
He stole that spirit, right? He's trying to get out.
Sure, yeah.
He stole... That's just how I pronounce it. He stored Harold in the basement. And soon he heard sounds like children laughing and crying. You know, all those fun sounds. But when he went down to investigate, of course he found nothing but the doll.
I mean, those sounds come from my basement every day, but that's for other reasons.
You have a basement?
No, I don't.
Greg eventually decided to list the doll on eBay, and his surprise, the bidding went all the way up to 700 big ones.
Woo!
Money, money,
700.
Yeah, here come the money. Money talk.
Money.
Unfortunately, the bidder felt as though Greg sold the doll to his friend Kathy for $300.
Yeah, the bidder was like, I don't want the doll anymore. So he's like, hey, Kathy, you want this doll for $300?
I think Kathy got just grifted for this doll. He's like,
You think
hey,
so?
Kathy, I got a great deal. This doll worth 700 big ones. Today, you can get it for $300.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hope he provides some proof that he got a $700 bid on it.
Interesting. Well, thanks to thanks to eBay bidding, Harold was becoming a viral sensation.
The first, well, not the first, but one of the first viral
One of the first viral sensations. Kathy was aware of Harold's newfound infamy and was planning on restoring the dilapidated toy and selling it for a profit.
Woo. So that's her plan all along. She's like, yeah, I'll get it for $300, but I'm going to sell it for way more than that.
I think she got scammed. She did not believe in the haunted history of the doll, but it would not be long before she had a change of heart. Two friends who had stayed in the same room as the doll died within a 6-month period.
It's a reach, but you know it happened nonetheless.
Were they in two separate cars and they crashed into each other? She relisted Harold back on eBay, believing it to be not haunted but cursed.
I mean, honestly, what's the difference though?
The doll was sold in a bidding war to the author.
Author Anthony Quinata.
I'm not good at reading.
The doll was sold in a bidding war to author Anthony
Quinata. No, I saw Quinata and I started panicking before I even got to the word. Yeah. Who won the auction with a bid of $720. Holy cow.
There you go.
OP delivered.
Kathy did what she set out to do.
Kathy immediately contacted Anthony. She's going to get her $720 to be sure. Lamenting that she sold the doll to him and wrote that she should have just thrown it in the ocean. Anthony disagreed, however, and soon received Harold in the mail. Harold.
So she already sold the doll, and immediately she's like, hey, I regret selling the doll to you. You should probably just throw it in the ocean. It's like, you already sold the doll, lady. Come on.
No, it was like, oh, somebody offered me $1,720. I'm just gonna, you know what?
You know,
I'm gonna cancel your bid and sell the doll for more money.
Probably.
Oh well. Well, whatever he got, Harold, he subjected it to many tests using an EMF detector, an EVP detector, and a camera.
That's something you would do.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it didn't say movement detector. But nothing happened. He contacted his friend April Palmer, a psychic, and asked if she would come and read the doll. Anthony prepared his equipment for the session and even splashed Harold with holy water. That's going to make him upset.
The power of Christ compels you.
Within 2 minutes, April, who was just chuckling in good spirits earlier before, became terrified. I'm sorry, she said. I just can't do this anymore. She said the doll threatened to kill her and immediately felt like some force squeezed her heart. Like literally?
Yeah, like literally.
Dang. Anthony checked the recording and found that a voice was captured. The strange voice said, I'm going to kill you, you bitch! And was followed by an evil laugh.
So I haven't looked for it because I mostly put this together at work, but I'll try to find the recording and include it in the episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
After a string of strange events, Anthony stored the doll away for years until 2013. He forgot about it.
Yeah.
When he decided to free Harold and set the story straight. He started a website, HaroldTheHauntedDoll.com, where he posted articles and discussed the doll. Ghost Adventures Oh, I love Ghost
Oh.
Adventures.
I hate them so much.
You know what? I used to really like them, but then I went to their haunted doll museum and I asked Zach Baggins for his autograph, and he told me that
Zach Baggins the worst.
well, he told me that I could get it for $20, and I'm like, bro,
That's
I'm already,
very Zach Baggins thing.
bro. I already paid $120 to get in your haunted museum. At least sign like this thing.
I hear you can also get his autograph by giving him some whey protein. Did you try that?
No, I didn't have any whey protein on me. They confiscated it from me whenever I came
I
in.
see.
Yeah.
So and then you don't get it back, right?
Didn't get it back. No.
Figures.
No. Ghost Adventures investigated the doll in 2014, and the crew was told by medium Sabrina, that Harold was possessed by 5 different spirits, and were instructed to treat the doll with respect. Apparently, Zach Baggins did not follow these instructions and allegedly received scratches from the cursed toy. Anthony Quinata still has the doll to this day. We'll close with an excerpt from the doll's websites comparing Harold to other haunted dolls. Robert is cursed. Annabelle is possessed. Harold belongs to the devil himself.
Dun, dun, dun. So that's Harold. And if you have him up on the screen, it took me a little bit to get there. But if you look at him, he is also a very creepy looking doll like Robert. I would say he's even more creepy.
I think he's more creepy. Definitely the porcelainess of it.
Yeah, he's got like a porcelain head. And it's definitely closer to the uncanny valley than Robert is. Because Robert is not really as human-esque as Harold is. Harold's also not in the best of shape. He definitely looks haunted.
Definitely looks haunted.
So do you think this is more legitimate than others, or
No.
no?
No. Unfortunately not. I think, like most things on Ghost Adventures, it's fake.
Well, I mean, this was around before Ghost Adventures, but there was a whole lot of selling the doll on eBay.
Selling the doll on eBay. There was a book written about the doll, and now
he's got a website.
He has a website, and it's in Zach Baggins' museum sometimes.
Yeah. So, could be. Might not
also, what did the doll do wrong?
He was just a bad boy.
He talked?
He was very,
no,
very
he didn't even
naughty.
talk, did he?
He very naughty.
He just, you know what? Nothing bad really happened, did it? Except for those 2 people who may not have died.
Yeah, there was, they did the, little EVP sesh with the medium. He was like, I'm going to kill you, bitch. And then they did the squeezing on the heart and all that stuff. But not as much activity I could find with this doll as with other dolls, but
it is one of the famous ones because there is a lot of stuff on there.
For sure.
On eBay, yeah. But you know where? It's kind of like eBay for haunted dolls. Only much more terrifying. The Island of the Dolls.
Oh, no.
Featured on pretty much every single haunted show and lists of places where not to go.
It's true.
Island of the Dolls. The next entry isn't exactly a haunted doll. A haunted location known as Isle de la...
I think it's Isla de las Muñecas.
I'm too white.
It's true. Me too. I probably butchered that, but...
So. I apologize for any Spanish-speaking listeners.
Yeah, I also apologize.
The Island of the Dolls. A tiny island in the middle of the canal. It is said that the body of a drowned girl was found in the canal by the island. Shortly after, caretaker Don Juan... Oh, no.
This is Don Julian?
I messed that up so
Don
bad.
Julian?
I'm so dyslexic sometimes.
You just wanted to say Don Juan.
I did. It hurts my brain sometimes. Don Julian Santana Barrera.
But you have to roll your R's on the first set. Yeah, I can't do it.
Impressive.
So impressive.
Well, he retrieved a doll floating in the canal and hung it on a tree to pay respect to the drowned girl. Huh.
So apparently just a random doll floating down.
Random doll floating down. Well, it was where the drowned girl was.
Yeah.
He believed that the doll belonged to the girl.
I mean, I guess it would make sense.
Makes sense.
Sure.
Julian soon believed that he was haunted by the spirit of the little girl and started hanging up more dolls around the wooded island in an attempt to please the spirit. Julian began feverishly obsessed with this morbid hobby and collected dolls for 50 years and hung them up at any available surface all over the island. He was then discovered dead, floating in the same canal, probably where that little girl was, right? Yeah,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But they also found his car in the river with him.
Tourists to this day continue to bring dolls to the island. Witnesses claim that the dolls often move their heads and arms and even open their lifeless eyes to appear at the living. It is also claimed that the dolls whisper to each other, sharing who knows what secrets. Haunted or not, either way, the island is one of the most disturbing and must-see for those interested in the creepy locations.
It's true. And Julian, spirit allegedly also haunts the island.
Allegedly, yeah.
Girl.
So I've actually looked to try to get there.
Yes, definitely. If you haven't seen this before, definitely look up pictures of the Island of the Dolls, because it's a sight for sure. I'm looking at a picture of it right now on my PowerPoint, and it is creepy AF. Let me tell you that.
Definitely, this place I believe a lot more than any of the other ones because it's consistent. There's no crazy claims, and the idea of an object being with somebody at that moment of death is consistent across several different cultures. So this lends itself a lot more credible.
Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, definitely look up pictures of that. Take a visit there if you like.
It's almost impossible.
I don't doubt it. Because it's like in just some random canal. I don't think it's close to anything in particular.
No, it's not close to anything. I tried to contact his nephew or whoever does it because I saw it on that show BuzzFeed Unsolved. So I'm if they did it, surely I can.
Yeah, surely. We just have to. We just be like, oh yeah, we're here investigating for this team we just made up. So we just have to sound official. Maybe they'll let us in.
There you go. See, that's why we need a website.
Exactly. So now let's talk about the online haunted doll market, specifically eBay. The auction site does have some stipulations on these occult items, as described by writer Catherine Carlson in her article for The New Yorker. Quote, "The site prohibits the sale of intangible items or things that buyers can't confirm that they've received. Even more explicit, listings that offer someone's soul or a container that claims to have someone's soul aren't allowed. To comply, most sellers include a disclaimer that metaphysical activity is not guaranteed. The grudging, legalistic language, when accompanied by a lengthy story recounting ghostly activity, only seems to reinforce the seller's veracity. Many of them have put, 'for entertainment purposes only,' in scare quotes, suggesting friendly collusion with the buyer. Look, I have to say this doll's not haunted," the seller seems to wink, "but between you and me, it's totally haunted."
Totally haunted. So let's look at some allegedly haunted dolls listed on eBay.
Let's do it.
At the time of this recording. Darren will provide the links in the description, but we can't promise the listing will still be up on the site. First up for listed title, Haunted Active Doll, Tangible, Wren, Once in a Lifetime.
So, fair warning, the grammar and spelling on these descriptions are not that great.
It's not just me this time.
yeah. So this won't be Sam or me misreading. We're going to read it exactly how it was written on the site.
The description is as follows. Meet Wren, a spirit keeper of dolls. Paranormal dream. Smiley face.
Smiley face.
It doesn't say smiley face, it is the emoji.
It's got the emoji for it.
Wren is a wonderful yet pretty darn powerful from the start. She's can do anything physical, like close the door, turn on water, all on command rather quickly, like Alexa. Her energy is quite impressive. Smiley face again. She's never far from her vassal either. Wren isn't for beginners. You must be 18 or older to purchase.
Is it just me, or are you getting like a sexual tension from this description?
A little bit. There's a lot of sexual tension in most of these dolls'
That's
descriptions.
True. It's very true.
I believe she is a wonderful spirit due to a construction in our house. She and I both feel like our time is up. Whoa. Wren is 11 and very spunky.
Oh, God.
Wren offer no time at all, will close doors and change the thermostat for attention. Blink certain lights too. You can feel her power. It is wonderful. I can feel her power. But with all my other spirits, it's too much.
Too much
for all the other spirits.
She's more obnoxious than the other spirits.
You see, Wren is spunky.
Oh yeah, very spunky.
She's been known to be in the room. Wren is a spirit. Wren is a spirit who helps via dreams, pendulums, spirit box. She's a high spirited.
The writing is. He has such a way with words.
Vassal Wren will be right there, as you can see. Sees tangible spirit doll, Colorlock the Dream.
He was going for collectors, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
out.
Wren has a damaged or missing foot. It was believed to be caused by the car crash that killed
All
the
the car
previous
crashes
owner.
that they were involved in.
Yeah. Buyer beware. Item has physical defect. Her left foot missing. Just shoe. She's fine with it. I've checked numerous times.
Well, as long as it's fine with Wren, it's fine with me.
She's been a wonderful spirit. Loyal, faithful.
She's
Full stop.
11.
Per eBay rules and regulation, it is prohibited to sell intangible objects. Therefore, I'm selling this as a tangible, physical item only with no promise of any spirit attachment.
Lame.
Everything that I have stated in this description is for entertainment purpose only. Per eBay's rules,
Yes, per eBay is rules.
Per eBay's rules, haunted active doll tangible quotation Wren once in a lifetime. Shipped with USPS priority packaging whenever you really need to be haunted. Current buy it now price is $30.
With free shipping. Free shipping!
Free
What a deal.
shipping.
So I have Wren up on the PowerPoint. That's what she looks like.
Yep.
Pretty stereotypical, old-timey doll. I didn't include the defect in the picture, but other than that, she seems pretty well put together.
Seems pretty well put together.
She just looks like a little girl in a flowy dress.
Yeah. What Darren doesn't know is I bought all the dolls in the list. I've hidden them throughout. I've hidden them throughout his house.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Not again.
Not again.
But yeah, so that's Wren. Pretty typical. So let's move on to our next listing, which the title is Haunted Paranormal Cursed Doll Demonic Activity Beware Girl Doll Scary. Really trying to get the
She's scary.
Trying to get the search engine optimization there. Or let me pull up the picture of Girl Doll Scary. So that's Girl Doll Scary.
Ooh, she's in a glass tube.
She is in a tube. So here's the description. Warning. Story and experiences may cause health problems if you're easily scared. I need this doll sold and out of my possession ASAP. I cannot take it anymore.
Not gone. Sold. I
Sold.
need this doll sold.
Yeah, I'm not desperate enough to give it away from free. You need to buy it. The story behind this doll and the activity. The doll is said to be very active. Yeah, said by you.
Yeah.
It caused a lot of horror for families whom own it. This doll's first owner was named Angela. Angela was an 11-year-old girl who was obsessed with collecting these vintage dolls. She was so invested in them that it is said that she had over 100.
Rich parents.
Yep. Very much so. As Angela grew older, her mom kept these dolls in the attic for her when Angela had kids. Angela was blessed with 3 young daughters and no sons.
She was blessed with no sons.
Thank God. The daughters inherited these dolls of Angela's and later became obsessed with them as well. But her middle daughter was different. She was a dark child who loved to break things and harm animals. Angela...
Jesus. Did the mom break her and put her spirit in this doll?
Maybe. Angela took notice of this and separated her daughter a lot from her sisters to prevent harm.
What?
So that's what you do when you have a disturbed daughter. You isolate them. That always helps.
Them. Much like the doll. You get a big glass tube and you just kind of go...
And then you
right
put
on
it
top of it. And you go, got him.
Got him. This upset her middle child so much, big surprise, that she got into witchcraft and praising Satan. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Stephanie, the middle child.
Finally a name.
Yep.
2 paragraphs. No name.
The name to the horror.
Yeah.
Stephanie, the middle child, in parentheses, became so obsessed with this that she decided to give her soul. Soul is spelled like the soul for shoe.
She decided to give the soul to her shoe to Satan himself.
Satan himself. A very fine fabric. Then she killed herself by hanging herself. The doll is said to hold the spirit of Stephanie. Honestly, I don't see why Angela was pertinent to the story.
I don't see why.
Yeah, other than giving her.
So
daughters
Angela's
the dolls.
mom gave her over 100 dolls. And then Angela kept at least 3 of the dolls to give to her kids.
Yes.
And then she killed one of her kids?
No. Stephanie killed herself.
Her kid killed herself. by
because
hanging
of
herself.
because of
Angie's.
Angela's poor parenting skills.
Wow.
Apparently, this is all according to the seller.
Right.
So this doll holds the spirit of Stephanie. Personal
What
experiences.
happened to the mom?
It doesn't say.
Oh.
Personal experiences I've had with this doll include many nights at 3 a.m. I would hear a humming noise coming from my attic, in which the doll was stored. Also, he doesn't mention how he has the doll, or she, or she.
No.
Maybe this is the sister.
Maybe this is one of the sisters.
Well, he said it is said, so
It is
he
said.
started out with that. So he probably doesn't know the family.
Maybe
Anyway, humming noise coming from my attic, in which this doll was stored. The humming would be pretty loud and would be heard throughout the house, as if someone was in the attic trying to get our attention to open the door. Other nights, I would wake up in my bedroom, freezing cold. This was mainly in the summertime. And my blanket was on the floor with my bedroom door wide open. Lastly, all caps, do not, like with Annabelle.
Do not.
Warning, do not.
Warning. Do not.
Try to take her out of her casing for too long. She hates this. When I first had this doll displayed on my shelving area, it was continue to fall. As it would fall, I would pick it up day after day. After a week of this, the head started to pop off and sit upright next to the body facing the casing direction. So I'm guessing the doll is like on the shelf next to it, apparently. After this, I kept the doll in the case, besides for the photo, which is the photo I included in PowerPoint.
Okay.
Buy at your own risk. I need gone, but not too much.
I need gone.
Disclaimer. Activities not promises. This is for entertainment purposes only. Selling off my personal experience from being in contact with this. Buy at your own risk. No activity promise. This is based off my own personal experience. The current bid on this is only 60 cents with $5.45 shipping.
Man, the doll could be, listen,
So
Angie? Is this Angela?
This is
whoever wrote it?
whoever wrote it.
All right, Angela, I'm assuming this is her, the mom. Because this is what you do. You sell your suicide
You sell your Suicide Kids property.
doll. Yeah.
So let's describe the doll a little bit. It is like
It kind of
the first
looks
one.
like the rose from Beauty and the Beast. That same kind of
It has
weird
the same
case.
kind of weird casing where it's kind of like the tubular casing.
That's like the only time I've seen it.
The casing itself is like in poor conditions, kind of yellowing and scratches all over it, but the doll is fine condition. There's also pictures of the doll without the casing, and it's like perfect condition. It's also a very typical girl doll. She's a girl in a dress, but the casing makes it look creepier than it actually is.
Yeah, Angela, I'm just gonna say this: you should have listed your doll as $6.11 rather than
and
66
well,
cents.
I think she's trying to start a bidding war. Is what's happening. But, bidding at 60 cents, I don't think she's getting anywhere near.
No, she's not. But I'm just saying, like, people don't want to pay for shipping. Just hide the price of shipping into the doll.
Actually, the first one had free shipping. So
Free shipping.
there's a whole doll market out there, and you got to compete with all those.
You got to compete. Our last listing is titled Oddities, Haunted Doll, Naked Donny, Active, Very Sexual.
It has a very, that title has a very YouTube clickbaity feel to it. But so let's hear about Naked Donny.
Oh my. So we see here a description of Naked Donny, and the picture pulled up here. We do see evidence of some orbs next to what I can only assume is where he hides his weed.
Yep. So this is essentially just a naked Ken doll, but it's based on Donny Osmond, the entertainer. So if you like to go on with this.
Here's the description.
Yep.
Updated! I have captured photo evidence of Naked Donny's phallic-shaped orbs. If you have any questions about him or the image, please feel free to message me.
So I assume this is the image, and they honestly don't look very
They don't
phallic-shaped.
look phallic, no.
It's a stretch.
Maybe a dick orb just hit him in the
I'm
night.
about to say, but I like the idea of a dick orb.
A dick orb. Hello and welcome to my shop of oddities.
Thank you.
After many years of collecting my wares all throughout this thoroughly terrifying world, I have decided to open up purchases to the public.
Lucky us.
I like money. Buyer beware, I am required to mention that this doll is for entertainment purposes only. eBay forbids the sale of intangible objects. This sale is only for the doll itself, with no promise of presents attached, dark or otherwise.
Man, but maybe this one.
This spirit is a very sexually charged spirit. The woman who owned the doll before us was a sex worker and had many graphic stories to tell us. She seemed particularly fond of this vintage Donny Osmond doll.
Who wouldn't be?
She kept him undressed and, in her purse, claimed he helped her in bed.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. I am unsure of the validity of her statement, but I can vouch for the very sexual energy coming from the doll.
Oh,
I can feel it myself.
Yeah, I know, just from the picture and the non-phallic orbs.
With no actual connection to the real Donny Osmond, I was hesitant to sell this doll as a collector's item. The recent interest
No, you weren't.
in spiritual items has me more excited to put him into the public eye.
I believe that.
I have witnessed phallic-shaped orbs around this doll and increased libido.
Yeah, so guys, ladies, if you need to up your sex drive, this is the doll for you.
Who needs Viagra when you can have one Donny Osmond doll?
Hold on, babe, I need to get my doll out.
I need to get my doll out. Hold on,
Put him
babe.
right there, my naked Kindle.
My nigga kidding. Donny, please.
Don, please.
Donny, please.
Just this once.
Just this one more time, Donny,
One
please.
more time.
Naked Donny likes to communicate through dowsing rods, but he also seemed but he also seemed receptive to Ouija and other channeling techniques. You may often find stray cats lingering around your house due to the energy coming off of this spirit. This doll transcends species.
And
Makes
all the
anything-
horny cats in the neighborhood will come flocking.
This guy, you know what?
Jeez.
Holy cow.
This is
Maybe every doll is sexually charged, and there's so much sexual tension that they can draw like animals, bugs, even cars to the
You know, honestly, I was this close to buying this just for...
naked
This
the
is
phallic
obviously
orbs.
the most powerful doll we have on the list.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, the cat thing is very
I
weird.
think it's super weird.
If this happens and you are not happy with the presence of cats, place Donny in a curio or cabinet to dull the energy.
Can I not just talk to him and be like, hey, Donny, can you tone
Donny,
it down a bit?
Hey, Donny,
There's
take it down
Donny,
a notch.
Come
Hey,
on, man.
I'm walking here.
There's cats all over the place.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. No returns and no refunds will be given for this product, so please take in mind and buy with caution. Current bid is $19 with $8.61 shipping.
Jeez.
Where is this coming from?
See, I was
Australia?
into it and said, like, this is the only one that I found that says no returns or refunds.
As we mentioned before, I can't promise this listing will still be up at the time you hear this, but there definitely seems to be a shortage. If
No
you are
shortage.
No shortage if you're interested in purchasing one of these dolls.
Yeah, so if you go on eBay and you search haunted dolls, you will get infinite results. So buy at your discretion, I guess, but maybe go for that Naked Donny if you're going to go for any of these. Honestly.
Go for
Because
Naked Donny.
if anything, if it actually is haunted, this seems helpful. I mean, if you're a cat person, it helps you with your libido. I see no downsides to this doll. I myself have 2 cats and 2 dogs, though, so it may not enjoy the doll, but
He may not enjoy the doll.
probably not.
Or the phallic orbs.
But that's all I got.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're this is actually the longest recording we've probably had so far. I'm
Oof.
almost 2 hours in. I had a suspicion this would be the longest episode anyway. So, in conclusion, please rate and review us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever else will let you leave a review, including leaving a Facebook recommendation on our page. This helps the show more than anything, and we are all too happy to read it on air.
Yeah. Tell your mom.
Tell everyone. Tell everyone you know, even people that don't listen to podcasts. Please follow us on social medias. We love to hear from you guys. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and you can check our episodes out on our YouTube channel as well. This episode is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support us in that way, you can go to patreon.com/Snipe Hunt, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to topic voting and our blooper reel episodes. And I'm getting a pop-up on my stupid computer, so give me a second. Okay. Donating to the show helps out with the hosting fees, as per usual. If you have a topic suggestion, a question, comment, criticism, or if you have a story you'd like us to share on our Encounters series, please contact us on social media or email us at snipehuntpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any stories about a haunted doll, please let us know. And Sam, thanks again for coming on the show. It was good having you.
Well, thanks for
I
having me.
really appreciate it.
Yeah. From children's toys to occult oddities, from the magic rituals of ancient Egypt to bargain listings on eBay, dolls have endured all throughout the history of mankind. But no matter what role they serve, dolls have some sort of power over us. They creep us out or they give us the parental urge to care for them. The power of the doll must be respected. For if you don't respect this power, bad luck just might find you. Remember to ask permission before you photograph this frightening folklore.
Once again, we want to thank you for listening to Snipe Hunt. Your listening has been noted and will be reported to the proper authorities. All audio used was done so under the protection of fair use.
Logo design is by Ethan Rothfuss. The music you heard in this episode was composed by Mayu and Nature World 1986. We'll continue to search for the unexplained, and we'll hopefully see you on the next hunt.